How are you guys doing? How are we all doing?
We're doing great.
We're doing good.
We're doing great. We're living the dream.
We're living the dream. We're in person again. Thank you so much to Control Space. Thank you so much to Josh behind the camera. And today we got a different group behind with me today. We got Breathe In, a local Winnipeg metalcore band, you guys would say.
Post-hardcore, metalcore,
emo,
whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're here for it.
We're here for it.
We just play music.
You just play music. You're just living the dream. You're trying to live the dream.
We're trying.
No, we're living it.
You're living the dream.
It.
Let's go. Let's go. So let's introduce yourselves. Who do we have on the couch today at the Music Storm podcast here?
I am Caitlin. I play guitar in Breathe In.
Yeah.
I'm Chris, and I do the vocals and some songwriting in Breathe In.
Cool.
And we're missing Evan.
Yeah. What's going on with Evan? Where's Evan at?
I think we'll leave it at that.
We'll leave it at that. That's fair. That's honestly fair. But what does Evan do in the band?
Evan is the drummer. That's his main role, we would say. And then when it comes to songwriting, composing, he is great at the piano. He's been playing for 20 years, something like that. So we rely on him a lot for MIDI tracks, that being like synth, violin, a lot of like the pre-production elements he'll put into our demos, so that there's sort of like a good soundscape for us to send off to our producer, and then he's got like a good idea of the direction we're headed.
Cool.
So he does a lot of like pre-production elements as well.
Yeah. I think a lot of people don't realize like the MIDI people or people that do that kind of stuff is like very much. You guys are still the backbone of the band, but like that. He's literally doing like the groundwork, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure. Especially working with like somebody like me. I have like no like music theory knowledge at all. So like every time that I'm like, I've got these like abstract ideas in my head of like, oh, this is the direction we're taking the song. I don't have the words to like put it all together. You know, I'm like so bad for it. So I'll mouth parts, or I'll just like make weird noises, and he'll be like, oh, okay, like I know where we're going with this. And then he'll like go online, find like the right like plugins and stuff, and he like put it all together.
Nice.
So he's great.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So you all are pretty good at music, you would say?
I think like we're just doing our best. You know? Yeah, we're all just doing our best. It's art, so like what's great to one person is terrible to another. I'm sure a lot of people listen to our music and like aren't a huge fan, but I think we're happy with everything we've released so far, and everything that we have moving forward we're like super stoked on. So I'd say like we're not amazing musicians or anything, but I think together we work together really well, and we've got a vision, and I think we work together really well.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good. I think every musician should realize that. I honestly, even the greats in musicians, I feel like they're like, yeah, we're good musicians, I would hope to say. I think everyone's like that. I feel like that even for myself as a podcast who's starting to venture into this. I'm like, I'm okay host. We're trying to get there, but I think I'll always be an okay host. I think even if you're a musician that's been doing it for 20 or 30 years, I'll think you'll always be like, yeah, I'm pretty good, but I don't think we're going to be like, yo, we're amazing, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think so, unless you're very, not going to call out anyone, but like, that'll be very egotistical at that point then, but
for sure,
I don't know. But yeah, so what's the meaning behind the band name? What made you want to make music then?
I feel like that's two different questions.
Well,
what's the band name, or
let's go with the band name. What's the meaning behind the band name?
What is the meaning behind the band name?
Yeah. Breathe in.
Well, we were looking for something kind of emo.
Yeah.
So we kind of just got out a whiteboard and wrote a whole bunch of band names that we liked, or just words that we liked.
Yeah.
And we settled on this. I don't think there were any other contenders.
There was no real other contenders. We're big on whiteboards. Like, we'll sit at Evan's house like this with a whiteboard, and we'll just be like,
today we're going to look at this.
Yeah, so we're big on just, like, visuals for the band so that we can keep, like, progression. And, we just kind of sat in front of a whiteboard, and we were just, like, throwing out, like, buzzwords. And, like, Caitlin was just writing them down. And Yeah, I don't know. Like we could probably make up some like meaning for it or some story behind it, but it was really just like I think it was a 3-word name. We were like 1-word band names are so sick, but like there's like none left. So we were like maybe 3 words, and we found like it was breathe in something was on the whiteboard, and then we like erased whatever that last word was. And we were like, this is sick.
Just breathe in.
Yeah, but it's like I was actually on Instagram the other day, and there's like a newer band from like somewhere like close by in like the States, I believe, that is also called Breathe In.
No.
So and there's like an old Breathe In band that was like super like old school death metal, just like blast beats the whole time.
Okay.
And they've been inactive for like I don't know, like 10 years or something. So we were like, whatever.
Over 20.
Oh, over 20 years.
Their last release was over 20 years ago.
Yeah, so we were like, I think we're good to slide in, and we've like registered the name and everything. So we've like registered with the company's office, and there's nothing like nearby that's like close to Breathe In. So I think we're in the clear. I think we got it.
All right,
down.
you just guys need to copyright it, I guess, at that point, right? Or
yeah.
no?
Did you hear that? Bleh got copyrighted.
Yeah,
I saw that. Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, it got copyrighted in Germany and then also in the U.S. as well too.
That's so crazy.
So technically, it's not copyrighted in Canada.
Oh, okay.
So guys,
we could jump on that.
Go jump on that, and then boom, you could just make so many variations of bleh.
Oh yeah.
Should be good.
Crazy.
That could be a run. That's how you get started, maybe. Well, you guys are already started.
We're started.
We started.
Like, our moms listen to our band, so
Let's go,
we got
moms.
a few fans. Yeah, no big deal.
It's a mom metalcore group. Yeah. Let's go. So, what made you want to make music?
Loaded question. That's a big one.
It is a big
one. I think like since I was like 14 or 15, I started playing guitar when I was like 12.
Yeah.
And that was like a huge part of like growing up for me. In the middle school I was in, there was like a guitar club. Okay. And there was basically like 8 people. We would all like bring our like parents' guitars to like a room during lunchtime, and we would like try and learn songs and whatever. And eventually it just became like 3 of us. And we all like became best friends, and one of them like I still like talk to once in a while, but it was really just like a club that was there and whatever. And then when I was in middle school, like grade 8, going into like high school, grade 9, I had like tried out. I had to like go to the high school and try it out for their music program. So I like show up with my little like guitar on my back, and I'm like trying to like shred for this music teacher. And I got into their like music program called Rock Band. And that was like cool, but it was a learning program. So it was like you would form these bands, then have to learn like blues one week and like stoner rock another week or whatever.
Stoner rock, let's go.
And it was just like not my vibe at all, because I was like an angsty teenager, and I was like, I just want to make like emo music, and I was like just getting into like Bring Me the Horizon and like Architects and bands like that. And I did meet a guy who like could scream when I was in high school, and he was in my band in that program. And then I started like smoking weed, and I like dropped out, and I quit playing guitar for like 4 years. Damn. But yeah, I would say like I've always like kind of had that in me that I wanted to like make music and everything. And then when I was like 18, I was like working shitty jobs, and I like hated my life, and I was like, at least if I was like in a band or like trying to make music, like I'd feel a bit better about myself. So the guy in my music program in high school that could scream, I reached out to him, and I was like, hey man, like I really want to start a band. And like a couple days later, we like met up for some drinks, and we were like, yeah, let's like start a band, whatever, it'll be so cool. And like the bartender at the bar we were at became our first drummer. He was like, oh, you guys come to my place and jam. And we did. And then my like roommate, I was like, I'll teach you how to play the bass if you like come jam with us. And that was like, yeah, my first like intro into like playing in like a real band. Yeah. But yeah, I've always wanted to like make music and everything. Like,
that's good.
Yeah, we were joking around a little bit ago because I rewatched Go to Hell for Heaven's Sake by Bring Me the Horizon. It's like we were in the van one day, and I was like, what is the song that made you emo? And I was like, that's the song that made me emo. Because I was like dating a girl when I was like 15, and she showed me, like, we watched that music video like in her bedroom, and I was like, Oliver Sykes is like the coolest guy in the world. And if you watch that video and then you look at what I look like right now,
can we get a picture comparison, everyone?
It's pretty crazy how like I've like subconsciously cut my hair to look like 16 Oliver Sykes, and I got all these tattoos, and yeah, it's just.
Have you got to see Bring Me the Horizon live?
I've never seen Bring Me the Horizon.
Yo, bring me. Come to Winnipeg. Do a Canadian tour. But
do a Canadian tour, please. Every time, like, one of my favorite bands comes through, I'm, like, messaging them on Instagram, and I'm like, I'll give you tattoos for free if you come here. Like, please. I just want to hang out with you.
No way.
And it's only happened one time, and it was Calling All Captains. Like, it wasn't, like, a huge band. I mean, shout out to them. I think they're, like, doing great.
Oh yeah,
I wouldn't say comparing them to Bring Me the Horizon though. Like they're not on that level. But like I have reached out to them and I have tattooed them for sure. And yeah, it was a great time.
Poor Calling All Captains. They aren't a Bring Me a Horizon. Damn. Okay. No shade to you guys.
Yeah,
no shade to you guys. We love you guys.
None at all.
But yeah, dude, I would love to see Bring Me Architects. When you
Yep.
mention Architects, I'm like, the day that Architects comes, that would be a beautiful day.
Yeah,
beautiful day.
I've seen Architects actually. They played at I think it was the Burton Cummings Theater with like Being as an Ocean and another band, and I was like underage for sure, but I was there and I saw them play, and it was so sick.
I hate you. I hate you. All right, Caitlin, what got you into music?
I guess probably when I was like 14, 15,
Mm-hmm.
I started listening to like the music that my sister listened to, and she started showing me like band documentaries and a whole bunch of stuff like that. And then yeah, I just kind of spun out and started listening to everything and a whole bunch of heavy music, and I was like, I'm going to play guitar, and I loved writing music. So I started playing piano first, actually, just so that when I could get a guitar, I'd have a bit of music knowledge. And then, yeah, I started playing guitar when I was 15 or 16 and just fell in love with writing music. And Ansa from Low Life, which is my other band, we started our first band together in high school, and we still play in a band together now.
Yeah.
And it's great.
That was a fun little interview. If you guys don't know, I interviewed Caitlin. I'm back in COVID times. It's kind of like almost like a re-interview in a sense with this. A little bit. Also, shout out to the ambulance in the background. I don't know if you guys will hear that, but we're in downtown Winnipeg, it is how it is, but yeah, so that's pretty cool. So what made you all start Breathe In? Because you guys, should I mention the old band kind of thing or no?
So, well, the three of us played in another band together.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then it just wasn't
It
what
didn't
we wanted
click.
to write.
It didn't click, I
Yeah,
guess.
it wasn't what we wanted to write. It wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
It was nobody except for Chris from the original lineup.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we wanted a fresh start
Okay.
and a clean slate,
Yeah.
Nice.
and we did that.
Yeah. We're obviously very comfortable with each other. We were like moving forward, like we're gonna be making music together and everything. And we had hit the studio and recorded Fade Away as the old band. And then once we got all of our masters, there was like a big moment where we were like, this is like what all of us were wanting. Like, but yeah, so it was like, do we like try and hold on to this thing with like these like notions of who we were as musicians from an old band, or do we like take this new music as a new opportunity to like move forward into a project that is like uniquely all of ours? Yeah.
Damn, you guys went in depth with that. Okay. What? Well,
We're
yeah,
like
you're-
deep thinkers.
You're
I think.
deep
Yeah.
thinking in here.
Yeah.
I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. You don't see that from bands. Like honestly, they're like, oh, we just make music. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't
I think we all overthink a lot.
We do.
That's
yeah,
good.
we
And
do,
especially when the
good.
three of us are in a room together.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, our practices are like, our set list is like 18 minutes, and it's like, but we're there for like 3.5 hours of us just like talking and like, what if we did
Planning.
this? What if we did this? And social media is scary.
And we go through like 3
yeah.
whiteboards of practice.
Yeah, it's a
Social
it's a
media
trip,
is a
yeah.
scary place, man.
Yeah, we're just doing our best, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're like staying pretty relevant. We're like pretty consistent with our like posting schedule and everything. But that's like the worst part of being in a band, I think, is like trying to like
get with the times, the social media.
Yeah, like it's pretty wild. But when we've like not thought about it and just kind of had fun, I think those do the best, and we have the most fun doing them. So yeah, we're just doing whatever, and keeping a level of professionalism, but keeping a level of like who we are at the same time.
Yeah, I think like we went through a big shift like about a year ago where we were all just kind of feeling pretty like burnt out and annoyed with the social media and business aspects of it, or we all just wanted to write music. But having to do everything else before you were focusing on the music was kind of making it made it hard.
Yeah.
So then we shifted our mindset a lot to just kind of posting what we were doing, what we thought was relevant, or just when cool things happened.
Yeah.
Cool. Are you guys in the TikTok realm kind of?
We have like individual accounts. I don't think Evan definitely does not, but we obviously watch a ton of TikToks. It's like the best. It like just rot your brain away. But we do not have a band one though, because I feel like it's almost like daily posting is like kind of what you need to be doing.
With TikTok, you need to be on the
like
daily,
constant like micro content. So there's been like a few TikTok trends we've done, but we've just posted them to our Instagram, and they still do like great. So
they do good numbers and everything. On the reels and reels works. I
feel
like reels,
we've talked about like, because we have like a lot of like long form content, and we do have like a lot of short form content as well, but like, do we want to spread all of that so thin and like take our brains and put them into like, let's do YouTube shorts and post long form content on there? Do we want to make TikToks, or should we just like focus on like our Instagram and just do our best there?
Grow it.
And I think like that's just kind of where our focus is at. We'll just post on Instagram. And
I feel like any band right now, the best option to grow is Instagram, of course, but I feel like you gotta get out of the TikTok realm. And yes, of course, YouTube Shorts. I feel like any band, if you want to get kind of scene-ish, I feel like is YouTube Shorts. If you want that short form content or just throwaway content, if you have or something kind of video form, just post on Shorts. Somehow you do get seen on Shorts. I don't know how.
Yeah, it's because it's like it's up and coming. Like they're all competing, so it's like, let's push this because it's a new feature, and then yeah. But I don't know. Maybe we'll get around to it.
At some point. At some point. That's little recommendation. That's what I say. But who would you say your influences and say similar artists that you guys sound like that new fans are getting into? You guys,
you go first.
I feel like influences is easy.
Influences is easy because yesterday Caitlin came up with like a new demo for a song. And I basically pointed out 2 songs, and I was like, this is the intro from this song, this is the chorus from this song, and it was just like.
And one of them was a song that I hadn't heard.
Yeah.
What?
So like our
So you made a song that you never heard.
Well, I ripped off a song that I hadn't heard.
Yeah.
Let's go. We're ripping off bands.
But I feel like like Capstan is a huge influence for me, and Counterparts is a big influence for Chris. Yeah. And I feel like we kind of influence each other's writing a lot.
Yeah.
So like I feel like you ended up taking more Capstan stuff, and I ended up taking a lot of Counterpart stuff.
Yeah.
So
even when we
flipped.
Yeah, it's been really weird because when we when we started making all these like newer demos for like our upcoming music, Caitlin was writing like pretty much like Midwest emo songs with like breakdowns.
What?
And then
we got
I was like,
Chris was writing.
I was like, I don't know what to do with this, and then I was just writing generic post-hardcore like Counterparts rip-off songs,
or like metalcore, like your generic metalcore, deathcore songs.
Yeah, and now like with all of our most recent stuff, like I've presented like Midwest emo acoustic songs, and now Caitlin is writing like greasy breakdowns, and it's like I don't know how we got here, but
or even like I would always write on Guitar Pro, and now I write more just with like a guitar in my hands, and you were the opposite, where you'd always write with a guitar, and now you write Guitar Pro riffs.
I do just be sitting at my keyboard and writing riffs I can't play because I don't gotta play them,
and then I get
her to learn them, and she plays
Poor
them.
Caitlin.
Yeah.
And then I cut the parts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there
Cut it
was
down.
one very recently where I was like, I programmed all these parts, and then like I had a pretty crappy like scratch take of me playing it,
Yeah.
and then Evan presented like a drum track with a guitar track with MIDI tracks, and we listened to it, and I was like, I suck at guitar. I was like, that guitar track's bad, and Kaylin's just like, I played that. And I was like, oh no, because I just wrote it on Guitar Pro, and like she was just doing her best.
Yeah,
and,
that was not playable.
yeah.
No. Damn.
What can you do?
What can you do?
What can you do?
Yeah.
You could live in a shoe. There you go. There you go. So what would you say is like you guys sound similar to then?
Wait, I feel like I want to defend myself on that last part. Evan said those guitar tracks were great.
Yeah, sure. Evan's not here.
Well, yeah, he can. He'll be in the comments section. That's where he'll be, and then he'll try to defend himself.
Yeah.
Anyways, but
Who do we sound like? I feel like that's something we've struggled with a lot. Even just trying to book shows where
We could just say what everybody says. We sound like Linkin Park if they were like a bit heavier. But no, I would say realistically, like when I think of like from my role in the band, who are my influences? It would be like Brendan Murphy from Counterparts. It would be like Tom Barber is one of my favorite vocalists, but like our music doesn't call for very like intense, crazy performances. So I'm really into a band called Casey, who their like earlier stuff is a very like they just kind of like yell. It's like an angsty sort of vibe to it. So I would say like if I'm ripping off bands in my bedroom, it's like Counterparts, Casey, Being as an Ocean is like a really big one. Sort of bands like that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And Kaylin's Capstan and
Yeah,
I
do you
love
agree?
Capstan.
Do you agree with all
Yeah,
those
like
things?
Capstan. I guess like Trophy Eyes movements for more like overall song structure and composition, and even just like general energy and production.
Yo, Trophy Eyes. You don't hear about that much about Trophy Eyes from people.
I talk about them all the time.
Nice. We like it. We like it.
Not actually, but yeah, big fan. Yeah.
That's it? Okay.
Yeah, like
Okay.
Boundaries, Silent
Boundaries.
Planet for like the heavier stuff, and I love the production on the latest Silent Planet album.
That's a good
So I
one.
feel like pulling
Really good.
like production elements and production layers from that, I'll influence my like lead writing by those, so that Evan can move them over to strings or different instruments, and then we have a nice full
You
sound.
guys are pulling like Silent Planet, like that new.
Yeah. Yeah. We're cool.
Okay.
I wish Evan was
Okay.
here because, like, there's only, I would say, like, those are the bands I'm interested in. Those are the bands you're interested in. We have a bit of crossover when it comes to stuff like that. But Evan, like, there's only probably, like, 5 or 6 bands that we, like, all collectively will actively listen to. And I'd say that's, like, Landmarks, Polaris, sort of, like, the more traditional metalcore bands. But then, like, obviously you dive a bit more into, like, like Trophy Eyes sort of realm. I dive a bit more into like the like KC like underground kind of like post-hardcore stuff, and then Evan listens to a lot of like jazz, R&B, a lot of like he was like none of his like beats he comes up with or influences come from
Metal.
our genre whatsoever. And I think it is honestly
It does help. That does
Yeah.
help actually. Like
Yeah.
if like of course metalcore. I know we've mentioned about this about Bad Omens in the past. Like Bad Omens, like Noah is like he influences like The Weeknd and that kind of stuff, like the R&B kind of stuff. So like if Evan does influence to like the jazz aspect, then it'll be like, oh, this is a different realm then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Evan is full of surprises.
He is.
I was just saying before we got here that I've known Evan for like 2 or 3 years now, and I feel like every time I talk to him, I learn something new about him.
Yeah.
And it's never anything you expect.
What's the new thing that you guys learned about each other as a band in general, even as people? What's the new thing?
That is a tricky one. I don't know. Okay, you have something to say. Why are you looking at me like that? Say what you gotta say.
Ooh. Come on, Kaylin. You're thinking it. You can say it. It's an open space here.
Chris did say that I could say this one. He has a new insecurity about sheds.
Wait, what? Wait, what's wrong about sheds here, Chris?
Would you say that Chris looks like someone who would sleep in a shed?
Okay, let's
no.
provide some context of this story. I was like with like a huge group of friends. We're like at a club, hanging out, whatever. And then like my buddy sees one of his like this girl that he used to talk to or something, and we ended up like at this like pool party at her place, and then I'm like trying to learn how to do backflips, and it was a fun time.
How did this get into?
It was it was like just out of the city, so it was getting late, and there was like no more alcohol, and I'm like, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go to bed. It's like 4 a.m, and so I try and get an Uber. There's no Ubers available.
How's there no Ubers available at 4
I think it's just because it was just barely out of the city. Like I guess they like keep it like.
They keep it condensed in the city. Yeah. If you go out of the perimeter, then you're not gonna get any.
Yeah.
Ubers.
So. Yeah, I was like, I gotta go home. Like, I never sleep in other people's places ever. Like, I'm a home bed person, you know. And so I was like, I gotta get out of here. And like, all my friends were still there, and so she's like, oh, you guys can like stay over and sleep on the couch. And I was like, I'm not sleeping on the couch. I was like, I got a king bed waiting for me at home. And she's like, oh, well, like, why don't you sleep in the shed? There's like a pull-out bed and like a TV. And I was like, do I look like somebody who would sleep in a shed? And she was like, yeah. I was like, I'm fucking out of here. I'm calling a cab. And I did. And I was like, I told her, I was like, I'm going to steal your carpet. You keep disrespecting me, I'll roll up this carpet, I'll steal it. And I roll it up, put it under my fucking arm, and I was like, adios. But like one of my buddies was leaving like before me, and she chased him out. She was like, give me my carpet, and I'm holding it. So I was like, I can't take this poor girl's carpet. So I left it. I went home. It's sun's coming up. Birds are chirping. I'm wondering what I'm doing with my life. And
man's a carpet stealer.
Now I don't put myself in the, like, I won't be like, do I look like that type of guy that would do that? Because I probably look like that guy.
No, you look like a guy that would steal carpets now.
I'll take that over sleeping in the shed. You got some nice carpets here. You gotta keep an eye on those.
Control space. If you guys miss some carpets, we got
it's
the
not
corporate.
Your boy.
We got the corporate.
My name's
here.
Evan Shepard.
Just calls your name out. Yeah, find him. There you go. Yeah. But as for you sleeping in a shed, I don't know, man. I don't know. Why didn't you sleep on that darn couch or something, man?
No,
like,
that ain't me.
Dude.
That ain't me.
Caitlin, have you slept on people's couches and everything before?
Yeah.
Yeah? It's normal, right?
Yeah.
I would say, like, if you're having a night out, it's your friend, whatever.
But you didn't want to?
I didn't know these. Like, I knew my friends. Yeah. I didn't know whose house this was necessarily.
Yeah, I would not do that at a stranger's house.
Yeah.
Okay, stranger house, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I actually got offered that, like, recently-ish, like, the last, was it 2 months ago or something? Like, I knew of a friend, and they're like, yeah, you could crash here. I'm like, I don't know you well, but also I work the next day, so I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, the offers are nice.
Yeah,
the offers are nice, but, like, yeah.
Especially, like being on tour. There's a lot of offers like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Are we diving into the tour story?
All right, let's get into tour stories. How was tour?
Tour was sick.
It was sick.
Yeah, tour was cool, but there is a pretty wild story involved with it.
Yeah, Caitlin mentioned
there's
to
a
me,
few
like,
wild stories.
Caitlin mentioned to me you guys almost died.
We are lucky to be here.
Let's start at the beginning.
We'll set the scene.
So let's set the scene of your first day on tour. Like, you got tour. How did tour? Like, how did that came to be?
It came to be, we sat down with Jacques from Screaming at Traffic, and he's like a Manitoba music guy. Okay. Works like sort of in the industry, and I used to work with Paul from Screaming at Traffic at like a tree company, and so we were tight. I like love all those guys, and we reached out to Jacques and we're like, hey man, can we just like go get like a beer or some food or something and just like ask you some questions about music and everything. And so we just like went to the Handsome Daughter, had a drink, and we were like, how did you guys do it? Because they've done quite a few tours now, and they're like close to us. We're all like friends, whatever. So he just gave us a bunch of tips, and basically we like thought about like what are some bands we would want to play with, or what are some people who like we look up to who have toured around the areas that we want to go. And then we looked at their show posters, and then saw the venues, and then saw like some local opening acts. And so we created like a big list of like, these are like 10 venues we would love to play in Calgary, these are 10 venues we'd love to play in Edmonton. And it just kind of like went from there, like write down a bunch of venues, write down a bunch of like local bands. Like we even sat there and searched like Instagram, like hashtag like Calgary metalcore or Calgary hardcore or whatever. And then we just made a big list of bands, big list of venues, messaged everybody. Like we kind of like tiered them of like, oh, this band like love to play with them, this band like so we kind of like went through the list, messaged everybody, messaged venues, gave dates, like left it open, like if we were to be in your city on these dates, would you want to play with us? And then same for venues. If like we are thinking like we will be in your city these dates, if you have any available, let us know and we'll like send a deposit. So yeah, it was all just like booked through ourselves. We lined everything up, everything was all good to go, and hit the road.
Yeah, hit the road before sunrise.
Yeah, like 4 a.m. I'm waking up, loading in the van. We all meet at Evan's place. Like we took our like the whole drum set, which we, in hindsight, we'll probably never do that again.
Did not need to. Yeah,
we'll just bring cymbals and like guitar, helix. Like we're gonna travel super light next time, but we fit like the van is huge. The van is great. Like we fit everything. We were all like taking turns napping while we're driving.
That's good.
It was a lot of fun. We stayed at Airbnbs every night. One night our Airbnb screwed us over, left us a bad, like we didn't even get in the Airbnb. They ghosted us and then left you a review saying we like messed up our cat or something, right? Like
what? Huh?
It was just like some scam situation.
So it was a scam Airbnb.
Yeah, so then we were at like a coffee shop and we met this older gentleman who used to live in Winnipeg. And we talked with him for like 4 hours.
It was crazy. We bought rotisserie chickens and like we were just like sitting at the venue and just like eating. And Evan loves like politics and he's a land surveyor. So he like everything like to do with like how Winnipeg came to be and the road structure and like all this stuff. He like loves it. And that's all that guy wanted to talk about. And so it was like... It was kind of awkward for like, me and Caitlin, I think, but like it was a good time. Like he was a very nice guy.
4 hours talking about Winnipeg, roads, and structures.
It was something.
Nice.
And so our first show was an Edmonton show at the Aviary. Our Airbnb was down like the back lane. So super sweet.
Nice.
We could walk to the venue.
Yeah, we could walk to the venue. We went to like a nice Italian restaurant, got dinner. We caught a show there the night before we played, which was cool. They let us like go in the back room, kind of scope out the venue. Next night we played with some really cool bands. And then next day, head over to Calgary, have that weird Airbnb situation, talk to this guy, eat rotisserie chicken. And then, we played with like, it was 5-band bill, 4 hardcore bands, and then we sang like a Taylor Swift song at some point. Ooh. And so we were like definitely the odd ones out, but such a fun time. Like they always say like the hardcore scene is like so inviting and everything, and we're like adjacent, but we're not like super hardcore. Every song has like 2-step moments and stuff. So we were a bit insecure maybe playing with them. But it was like a great time, and it was super cool. There was a bunch of people wearing like band shirts from Winnipeg local bands, which was very cool to see.
That's nice.
And then, but it was like dense, tight little venue, like maybe the size of the room over there.
Yeah, to
but
the
like
side over here.
No ventilation. There's just like doors at the back to open up in between bands.
Best
it was like the storage room of a coffee shop, essentially.
So like a 50 cap, you would think.
It was pretty crazy.
There was a lot
like
of
shoulder
people
to
there.
shoulder. People are getting bloody noses, getting punched out.
Not even everybody could like get into the back room at one time. So there were people just like in the coffee shop.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was a great time.
Yeah, but thick air in there. And then the next day I woke up and I was like, I can barely speak. Like it was not good at all. So we like go to Shoppers. I'm like Googling all these home remedies, trying to get my voice back. It was not looking good. And then we played in a guy's garage in Edmonton again, like the next night. So it was like Edmonton, Calgary, Edmonton.
Oh, cool.
And I was actually looking through like the pictures and videos the other day. This guy's garage, so sick. Like, it was the coolest garage I've ever seen in my life. And it was renovated to be a venue with, like, a full bar and, like, TVs and all this, like, super expensive, like, memorabilia everywhere. And, it was crazy in there. Like, so cool. And we set up our little merch tent outside. And there was a whiteboard, so you could write, like, T-shirts, $30, whatever. And we wrote on it, like, don't talk to Chris. He lost his voice. And everybody, like, for some reason, as the vocalist, everybody just wants to, like, talk to you and, like, for like I don't want to be that guy, but like so everybody the whole time, like we got there, I get out of the van and they walk straight up to me. Hi, I'm so and so. Nice to meet you. And I'm just like, oh fuck.
You just what you should do is just be like,
I was also doing. Nobody knew like who Chris was, so just say don't talk to Chris, and then Chris had a little tape.
I had a name tag.
He said I'm Chris.
Yeah. And we have a picture of me just being like. Beside
But yeah, so there was like 2.5 like 3 days of tour where Chris like wasn't talking, so he'd be texting in the group chat and Evan and I would just have to like look at our phones in case Chris needed
it's like, oh crap, Chris again.
So it was fun though, and like we did our best. We like played with this easycore band, and the vocalist was like, he was a hugger, and like I've never came away from a hug being like, I think I'm in love. Like just from a hug, he was just like he
found your soulmate.
He would hold you, like he'd hug you, and then he'd squeeze you, and then he'd put his head on you. Like it was,
dude.
Yeah,
those are the best kind. I need to
like,
meet this man.
Yeah, he was like, man, like you guys are so great, and you lost your voice, and you killed it up there still. I'm like, I was like, this is awesome. Like what? And and then. That night, I think we just went to bed. It was pretty normal, and then
we were headed to a show in Saskatchewan.
Yes, so we wake up at a decent hour. Our show was late, so we were like, okay, if we leave at like 11 or whatever, we'll be at like the Airbnb by like 4. We'll eat. We'll head to the venue. Everything will be chill, and we. Drive for a couple hours, and I'm just like drinking tea and like trying not to talk to anybody, and I like fall asleep in the passenger seat, and Evan's driving.
He fell asleep driving. I'm like,
we all died, and now it's just a fever dream, and we're not even really here. But no, I like fall asleep, and I wake up feeling great. My voice is back.
That's
everything's good. Little nap, good to go. But I wake up, and there's like this weird noise from the van. So I was like, how long's that been going on? And he's like, Evan's like, I don't know. I was like, well, pull over.
Not checked if there's that noise in that van. That's how kind of.
Yeah, so we pull over, and like basically like the alternator's pulley, the like bolt had like fallen off. So like it was like squeaking, and not a huge deal, but like if we would have kept driving and the pulley came off, the van would have just eventually died. So
but also like they opened the front of the van and there's just like shredded metal everywhere.
There was a little bit.
There was more than you want to see in a vehicle.
More than you want to see for sure. So we call CAA. Well, I had no service. You had no service. Evan's like or maybe me and Evan had no service, and maybe you called or whoever it was.
Someone
one of us
had service.
And like call CAA. Evan like wraps her shirt around his head. He's like, I'm gonna find this bolt that fell off, and he's like gone. He just walks away.
Walking for miles down the side of the highway. Yeah. And like, we are like in between. Like we are in Alberta, heading to Saskatchewan, and like close to Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
So that's the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, we're like in a farmer's field, essentially, side of the road, and Evan's gone. I'm like laying on the ground on the phone with CAA.
What year is this vehicle, by the way?
Sorry?
What year is this vehicle, by the way?
It's an 83.
No wonder.
She's solid. She's solid. Yeah.
Hey, we drove it here.
Yeah, we drove it here. She's still ripping.
But 83 driving.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
Yeah, or no, it's 89, but close enough.
Doesn't get any better.
But it was a brand new alternator. Like my uncle's like the head mechanic at a shop. He did new brake lines, like ball joints. He like got us good to go for tour, and then a new part failed. So it wasn't the van's fault. It was just like a manufacturer
I
thing.
still want to drive an 89
Yeah.
van across the
Not our smartest
country.
move.
But anyway.
Yeah, so that was messed up. We're like eating beef jerky and Skittles on the side of the road, and CAA answers, and they're like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And so a tow truck driver will contact you when he's on his way. The estimated wait time's about 3.5 hours. So,
But then we're just still on the side of the highway.
Yeah.
Evan, we can like vaguely see him in the distance with the thing wrapped around his head, hiding from the sun. And then the tow truck driver calls us, and he's like, "How many of you are there?" There's 3 of us.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
he was like, "But I can only take 2 of you."
No.
Yeah.
So Evan finally comes back, and he's like, "You guys go."
No.
And he's like,
always
and like,
sacrifice myself.
and there's no taxis there. Like
Well, yeah,
so
it's
they
just
were-
can't,
so
like, in
we were
between,
talking to them. We were like, "What are we supposed to do?" And they were like, "You leave one there, and you call the RCMP."
Yeah. Yep. And we had called every single town that was like within any sort of radius, but it was like a Sunday. So
No.
yeah. So like nobody's coming. Nobody's coming to get us. And yeah, so like I'm talking to this guy and I'm like, "Listen, buddy, 3 of us are here, 3 of us are leaving. I don't know what to tell you." And he was like, "Oh, we'll figure it out when we get there." And like another like truck driver, like a long haul driver came, stopped, and he's like, "Oh, like you guys good, whatever." Another like guy just driving, like looked at the van, I don't know what's going on, left, brought us water and stuff.
Oh,
like there
nice.
was like
That's good.
It was like, yeah, very nice
pretty
people out there. And then tow truck driver comes, and he's like stereotypical middle of nowhere tow truck driver.
Oh, okay, the
Like,
best
ripped up
kind.
jeans, like
Yep.
beer belly, bald, just like stains everywhere, greasy
Oh, yeah.
hands, like tow truck driver guy.
That's good.
Don't want to stereotype all tow truck drivers. Like there's some
I had
cool
one
ones.
when I broke down Dolphin.
Yeah.
It was 2
So-
years ago. That was fun.
Yeah, he like loads up the van. We all get in his truck.
But there was another like truck driver stopped, and he was just kind of helping like for visibility to like stop
sure cars,
traffic.
yeah.
Had it was
That's
like
fine.
lights on or whatever. And he's like, "Oh yeah, like I can like just take my last load and I'll come back in an hour and like I'll just bring the third one to like where we were being towed."
Yeah.
And the tow truck driver's like, "No, we can't wait.
What?
We're all going."
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there was red flags that I didn't see right away.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I didn't think anything of that. I didn't even like really remember that. I just remember that guy, like he was just like, we'd all be standing there and he'd be like, "Yeah, my cousin like plays piano." And then that would happen, right? And then we're like, "Okay." And then you're like, "Yeah, so like I've been doing this for 30 years or whatever." And it was just like a very awkward situation. And we were just trying to get out of there. So we hop in tow truck driver's truck, and all windows down. There was enough room for all of us, but like it was tight. And we're bombing through all these farmers' fields, like it's just like pollen and stuff hitting us, and we're taking selfies. We're like, we're getting rescued. And so it was like over an hour in like the tow truck, like with this guy.
And that was after like 6 hours on the side of the highway.
It was forever.
God.
And
And
we,
He tows us to a Napa.
yeah, he
'Cause we
told
were
us
like,
to
"Okay,
Napa.
just get new parts." We'll
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like
Fix up
we
the
were there
van.
overnight. In the
That's fine.
morning, Monday morning, they're open. We'll buy parts. Everything will be okay.
Yeah.
Evan was like showing us his sweet tools he's got at home. I was like, "You could bring your tools, like you promised you would do." No.
So I have like a little toolkit of like guitar setup tools. So
No
we're like
way.
trying all different things.
Did
Yeah.
any of them work?
I mean, I have like a nice Allen key set. So a few of those were somewhat
but
helpful
not-
sometimes, but it wasn't what we needed.
Yeah.
Not what we needed. So we get to Napa in Lloydminster, which I don't know if you've ever looked at the crime rate in Lloydminster. Not good at all.
I think it's like the high.
It's like one of
I
like
think
the
Evan said
most
it-
dangerous places in Canada.
No, Red Deer isn't it? Red Deer's bad.
It's just up there for sure.
Yeah.
Like definitely top 5.
Even like driving through it,
you
yeah.
could tell.
we saw.
I like Lloydminster.
We saw
It's
some
nice
stuff.
when I went.
We won't.
I
go
went
back
with
to
a
Lloydminster.
family.
We can't.
Wait, you can't? Okay.
Okay, so tow truck driver drops us off. We like put the van in a parking spot, grab all of our things, and we're just kind of like standing on the side of the road. And he's like, "So, what are you guys doing?" And we're like, "Well,
we're touring."
I was like, "We don't know. Actually, we gotta figure it out. We gotta find somewhere to go."
And he's like, "So you guys are just like staying in the van tonight?" And we're just kind of like,
yeah.
And we're all just like looking at each other. We're like, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he like looks at me, of course, and he's like, "So
You're the shack guy, you know?
Yeah, I'll sleep in the shed, I guess."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, if you guys want, like, come back to my place. Like, I'll make pizza. I got 2 spare rooms. They're not near my room. You guys can take a shower." And
well, he said, "Come to my trailer," and he's like, "Don't worry though, it's a big trailer. Like, it's more like a house."
Yeah.
He's like, "It'll be comfortable. You guys will have your own
little
like,
area."
half." And he's like, "I have more pizza than I can eat."
Yeah. Yeah, come to my trailer. And he's saying this to me. So I'm looking at him, and then I'm like, "Look at Caitlin. Look at Evan." Blank. So I was like, "I guess the decision's on me. Let's go to your trailer, buddy."
No. I guess, yeah. I would, yeah. For me, if I found out about the guy, is like, I would ask him for his first and last name, check on Facebook or whatever social media then. And if he checks out, then cool. If not, then yeah, but okay.
And like the words we had exchanged prior was like
normal.
Next
somewhat
to nothing.
Okay.
Like the drive, silent. I'm playing fucking games on my phone. I don't know what you guys are doing.
I couldn't like grab my phone from my pocket.
Yeah, so like we don't really even know this guy. And I was like, "Yeah, whatever. I guess we'll go to your trailer."
I think typical tow truck drivers, you don't talk. It's so weird. Like I got towed. We didn't talk.
Yeah.
We didn't talk. Yeah.
So
we grab like a few of our items that we don't want to like leave in the van overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, this
when
is
you
like the
wake up.
industrial part. Like all your like gear will be safe here or whatever."
Yeah.
So was it safe? I don't know. We turn a corner, homeless camp. We turn a corner at his place. Was it safe? I don't know.
So
it
we
was
get
like
so we get to his and like things started to get weird like on the drive there. Like he kind of started talking to himself and like singing under his breath.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we were making his day.
Yeah.
So we like get in there and we're like all just like standing in the doorway. And he's like, obviously, like I'm giving him a little bit of credit because like if I don't think somebody's coming over, I'm not like necessarily cleaning up or anything. So his place was a bit of a mess. And he's like, "Oh, scrambling, trying to like clean up quick because he has guests over." And he's like, and he's like, scrubbing dishes. And he's like whispering to himself. And we're just like sitting there, not saying a word to each other. I like texted the group chat. I was like, "Are you guys okay?" And then everybody's like, "No, let's go outside."
Let's go outside.
We all started getting just bad vibes. So
Yeah.
we go outside and like didn't have service.
Yeah.
So what made the decision too is Evan was like thinking, and he was like gonna update his mom and tell her what was going on, and then he was like, "I can't tell my mom this," and then he was like, "Wait a minute, we shouldn't be here."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're sitting outside, and I was like, I'm ready to call my mom and tell her I'm never gonna see her again. Like I'm like having an anxiety attack. I'm standing outside on this like dirt road, and I'm like, I can't go back in there. Like and like it doesn't help that on our drive we'll listen to some music. You know, it's like an 8-hour drive to like our next show. We'll listen to some music, or we will listen to murder mystery podcasts, which is what we did the whole time. So we're just like primed and ready to be killed. And Evan's like, "Okay, my drum set's worth like, you know, like $15,000. We go inside. He's like, "Man, my drums are worth like a lot of money. Like, I just can't leave them there. Like, it just doesn't feel right. Like, what if they get stolen?" And he's like, "Oh, well, I'll tow the van back here." We're like, "No, you're not really getting it." Like,
so like, when the three of us were outside, we made the decision. We were like, we like can't be here. Like we all just had like the same feeling. So we called a cab, and then we're like, we even debated it for a minute. We were like, do we just go or do we have to go say bye?
Yeah.
So we were like, no. Like it was a really nice offer to like put us up, even if there were bad vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we like went in, and then he was just very adamant that we stay there.
It was like, "Oh, we have to leave because of this. Oh, don't worry about it. I have a solution. Oh, well, this is actually a big thing for us. Oh, don't worry. I'll give you another solution. And it was like, you've done enough, man. Like, we appreciate what you've done. We're leaving.
Yeah.
And eventually he like caught on, and like the cab was like 10 minutes away or whatever, and we just stood outside the whole time.
That's good.
We're like, we're not going to interact with this guy anymore.
Okay.
And then we go to bed, wake up. What day is it? My birthday. I almost got killed the day before my fucking birthday.
But he didn't.
You didn't.
I didn't.
So then it's the next day. We're at Napa.
We're at Napa.
We can't fix the alternator.
You can't.
We had to buy a new alternator. So, and then we're like, okay, we bought it. We got no tools. And eventually we were like, okay, I made an appointment with a mechanic like down the road. So we're like, put the van in neutral. We're going to push it.
It was a mile. We're like, we can push
that's
the
not
van
bad.
a mile.
Yeah, not so bad. And then the guy at the counter came out with like a sticky note with a phone number. And he's like, give this guy a call. So I was like, okay. And I call him and he's like, yeah, like, what's going on? And I was like, well, we're just like, I need our alternator changed. We're in the Napa parking lot. He's like, be there in 10 minutes.
He was like on his way there already to get parts for whatever he was working on.
Yeah.
Cool.
And he just like, I think he has like a drag car and like a hot rod and whatever. He just like builds cars. So he shows up like 15 minutes, like changes the alternator. And we're like, perfect. Start it up. And then we get in the van and we're like, we have one show tonight left in Prince Albert. Let's cancel it. Like this has been like a tough like 24 hours. Let's cancel the show. Let's drive straight home. Like we're just so over it by that point.
Yeah, and we like weren't sure if like anything else would like go wrong with the van. So we were like, we gotta like baby it and just get home.
Book it. Make sure you're okay.
I bought the van, so I was like, I'm driving all the way home. It was like 11 hours or something like that to get home. And I was like, I'll just drive the whole way. Everything would be okay. And so we're driving for like 3 hours, and there's like a gauge that shows like the level for the battery. And I'm like, it's like, I'm like, is it moving or am I tripping? And then like, I'm like, don't look at it for 10 minutes so that when I look back, I'll see if it moved. And the whole time I'm just like, I think something's going wrong.
And then the radio dies.
And then the radio dies. And then Evan like looks at me and he's like, what just happened? And I was like,
oh god.
So if the battery in the van is dying, it is either the battery or the alternator.
Again?
And we just got a new alternator.
Brand new alternator.
And you don't need a battery to drive a car. The battery's only there to like start it. And then the alternator keeps the battery charged as you drive. So I was like, our alternator's fucked. Like
again?
Yeah. And
a
so
brand new one.
We coast into Theodore, population.
They had a sign with the population, and I think it was low 200s. Like it was 20 something.
So nobody lives there.
Nobody lives there.
So
but we pull into this co-op or a gas station.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I really had to pee. So I go in the gas station, and I was like, country people, like everybody's friendly. So I just like went up to the cashier. I was like, hey, do you know anybody who fixes cars around here? And she was like, yeah, actually. Like, he lives behind the gas station.
No way.
Over the train tracks.
And, like, the van's running this whole time because we're like, we can't turn it off because it's not
if you turn it
off,
it's dead.
Yeah. So we called this guy and we're like, hey, like, we're like, our van's about to die. We're like pretty much broken down in front of the gas station. Can you come help us? And he's like, yep, I'll be there in like 10 minutes. And he just like comes ripping through this dirt parking lot in this like crazy built like old school muscle car. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is the coolest guy ever. and he like checks it out. He's like, yep, your alternator's bad. And it was like, at that point, it was like 4 o'clock. And he was like, I'll go to the next town over and buy you one, I guess. It's 4 o'clock. Next town over, like an hour away. And they close at 5.
So he's like on the phone with the store.
Making sure that they stay
like, I'm coming here for this.
And
he's like, okay, like, just like get in the van and follow me just around back to my shop, like before the van dies.
Yeah.
We all get in. The van dies.
No.
So then he leaves. So the mechanic's gone. And so then we're pushing the van again.
Yeah. And then, so he sees us pushing the van. Like, I guess he parks to get in his other car to go or whatever. And he sees us, and he, like, gets on his little quad, gets a tow strap, comes, tows the van to his shop. And he's like, wait here. Jumps in his car, rips away. Like, he's going, like, double the speed limit. He's like, I gotta get there before they close.
I like this man.
And we're just, like, sitting there. We're like, what do we do? And we're, like, climbing on the van. We took
went to
walk.
we found a park.
We found a park. We sat on the swings for a bit.
But there was like a daycare, and there were like kids outside. So we were keeping our distance. We were being
good.
and then they take all the kids in. So we're like, we gotta go.
Yeah. That
Well, yeah, you're
he sleeps in a shed. Get inside.
Wait, what color is this van, by the way?
It's red.
Okay,
It's red.
Yeah.
That's still
It's like
pretty
a dark
bad.
burgundy. Yeah.
Still pretty bad. You're
Yeah.
outside of a kid's daycare.
Yeah. So we hung out. He hung around for a little bit, and then like the guy's wife showed up, and like we pulled the van into the shop, and they were super nice, like very friendly couple, and we were there for I don't know, like another 20 minutes or so. They fixed up the van. We paid them an insane amount of money, and then we drove home, and that was my birthday, and we got home at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
The rest of the drive was pretty silent.
Yeah,
It
because
was
we were all
Yeah.
just like, if
Like,
because we were like, we're getting home tonight. We're like,
Yeah.
if anything happens to the van, like
we need to get
like
home
Evan's
safe.
like, my dad will come get us.
Yeah,
like my
exactly.
dad was
Someone
on
will get-
standby.
yeah.
He was ready.
Yeah,
That's a tour.
Yep, that was.
I've heard tour stories, but like, guys, that's top tour story from a
Yeah,
band.
yeah,
Yeah.
couple breakdowns.
You guys almost died.
Almost a murder. There was a birthday involved.
So
The
the real question is, will you tour again from that?
hell
whole
yeah,
event.
we're gonna tour again.
Okay, that's the main thing.
When we
Yeah.
first got back from tour, we're all like, we're not taking the van again.
Yeah,
And
don't
and then
take
a,
that van.
and then a couple months go by, and we're like,
no.
we
We
could
could
rip
take the van again.
No.
Yeah, we could. Things solid.
But the alternator shot like 3 times.
We'll come better prepared next time.
3
But
alternators.
no, we only needed the van realistically because if we needed to sleep in it, we could sleep in it, and we
Yeah.
brought all the drums. If we brought breakables to a show, like we could tour in a Honda Civic realistically.
Realistically, yeah. I was
Yeah.
talking to when I did my tour with the band. They're like, yeah, their next tour that they did, they only did it with a truck? I forget
Yeah.
what kind of truck.
Yeah,
it was a
like we
Nissan
don't
truck
need
they
much.
did.
And like us
Yeah.
too, there's 3 of us.
Yeah.
So I bring 2 guitars on tour because I bring a backup.
Yeah.
I don't play an amp. I play a Helix. So that's
Okay, yeah,
tiny.
true.
And then we just have breakables, and you have a backpack.
So yeah, you guys could do truck or Honda Civic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Damn.
could tour in anything. So that's our
Okay.
plan for next tour. I think like travel light. Like Kaylin's got like a compact SUV. We'll probably just take that.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. Yep. Keep it super chill. But yeah, no tour plans, but tour
It's working.
manifestation for
Okay.
the
Yeah.
new year.
We're
Yeah.
working on new music.
Yeah.
And we want to tour on that when
Yeah.
we release it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would hope. Yeah. Yeah, that's.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we
Oh.
went out west last time.
You're gonna go east.
Maybe both. Maybe a little
Yeah.
both.
I
Little
think
both?
I think we might dabble and try and do a little bit more because Toronto's a short flight and it's a hub where you can kind of bounce
you-
around.
yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah.
I
We
feel
can just
like,
rent gear even.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we made some new best friends
We
Oh.
did. Single Wound. We
Yeah.
played with them a couple
Nice.
months ago.
a couple months ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
Ontario, right? Single Wound.
Yeah, Ontario band.
Yeah.
So gotta go see them.
yep.
Who's coming through right now? I know them very well. They're called Gutter King. I don't know if
We
you guys know.
love
You
Gutter
love Gutter King?
Yes.
Okay, that's
Love
good.
Gutter
That's
We
King.
good.
really wanted to play with Gutter King.
Yeah.
No, I literally messaged Alan, if you guys know Alan. Good friends with him from Gutter King and everything. They tried to set up something with a Winnipeg date, but they just didn't pull through with it and
okay.
everything.
Yeah.
But they're right now coming from the Ontario date right
Gotcha.
now. But
Yeah.
yeah, plan something out with those guys. And
Yeah,
if you
we
guys plan
love
something
Gutter
for
King.
Alberta.
Yeah,
in
my
the future.
buddy Dakota was at one of their like local shows recently, and so I've got some Gutter King merch, which I
Nice.
love. And a little fun story: I got beat up wearing a Gutter King shirt, and it's ruined.
What?
I got in a I'm not gonna say I got in a fight because I don't fight. I got my ass kicked outside of Limelight one time, and the guy ripped my shirt, like knocked me out. Yeah.
Yo, Gutter
But
King, send
Gutter
him a new
King,
shirt, please.
I love you so much. If you could, I'll just buy another shirt. Yeah, I don't want anything for free. I support the boys.
But so we have a band practice the next day. So Chris comes in.
Just casually, we got a
Yeah.
band practice.
So Evan and I are like going through songs. Chris comes in.
Hoodie up, sunglasses on. I'm also hungover because I was like drinking that night.
Yeah.
And like doesn't say a word and then just like makes like the most exasperated sigh.
like, ugh. Sit down.
And Evan looks at him and he's like, "Are you okay? Like what's wrong?"
Yeah.
And Chris just does the most dramatic turn and rips off his sunglasses. And he's just staring and we're just looking at him and we're like
I'm like in my head I'm like, I'm bruised up. This is gonna be a dramatic reveal, you know? And they're like,
no way.
oh no.
yeah, Chris thinks he has like double black eyes and he just looks at us and we're like, "What? Like, are you hungover?
Probably
Like, what's
nothing.
going
Yeah.
on?"
I'm just like, I got beat up.
I got beat up.
Yeah. Tough night.
It's Winnipeg.
Tough night to be Chris.
It's Winnipeg.
But
It's
moral
a-
of the
yeah.
story, I miss my Gutter King shirt. It was so sick.
And you didn't get beat up on tour. That's a good thing.
No. How could you fight me? I'm such a nice guy. But yeah, shit happens. But we love Gutter King. That
That's
was
the
a
main
kind of
aspect.
long-winded
We
way of
love
saying
Gutter
we love
King.
those guys. I think we did message them when we were going to Edmonton. They
Okay.
were like, when we had our list, they were I think number 1.
Oh,
They
really?
were
Were.
like,
Okay.
we need to play with these
Yeah.
guys, and we have messaged them,
Fair.
and we've told them anytime you come through, like we'd love to play with you.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
yeah, hopefully something lines up in the future.
That'd be cool. I don't know about Vancouver wise. I think they know like 1 or 2 bands from Vancouver, but you guys should do Vancouver some point.
Yeah, it'd be sweet to go all the way
Yeah.
west.
West, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, all the way
Yeah,
west.
well, all the way west.
I'm not good with directions.
Are you gonna get a tattoo of like north, east, southwest? That's what people do. Oh, you do?
Yeah, I do. I have one already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind then. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, new music is coming soon.
In the works.
In the works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not gonna like
Yeah.
say like we don't even want to say like a season necessarily because like it's all in the works. But what we can say is there's a lot of songs right now. We haven't met with our producer to kind of weed out the week yet,
Mhm.
but there's a lot of songs and a lot of songs that we're like super happy with.
Yeah.
So I think moving forward, like it's just gonna be crazy.
We're
like
locked
we're like
in.
Yeah.
We're locked in.
yeah, we're
Locked in.
locked in. All of our new songs are awesome.
Mhm.
We've sort of like taken all of the ideas that we were like, oh, we would love to like eventually do this, and like we'd love to introduce this into the band. Everything is kind of like coming into fruition with all these new songs, and like I'm super happy with where everything's going, and
good.
yeah, we're super excited to like finally like really lock in, and we're talking about maybe like a full-length album, but
Ooh.
there's so many songs that we're gonna like that's all still like in the works.
Yeah.
Do we
Yeah.
do EPs, singles, album? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Plan it
We'll
out
see.
eventually. Yeah. Who's some artists or bands that you guys hope to work with in the future, locally and non-locally?
We've reached out to Higher Lows more times than we probably want to admit. We Higher Lows, we want to play with you. You guys are
Please.
cool. Like yeah, we just want to we would love to play with Higher Lows.
Yeah.
When we went to Edmonton, people would be like, "Oh, Winnipeg," and we're like, "Yeah," and they just look at us and they go, "Sam Jacobs,
Yeah,
is the guitarist
yeah.
in Higher Lows," and it's
Nice.
like they don't know anything about it, but they know Sam Jacobs bands.
That's
Yeah.
it. Okay.
That's what
Yeah.
they said. It wasn't any of the typical Winnipeg stereotypes. They just look
Wow.
at us and they just talk about Higher
Higher
Lows.
lows.
Yeah.
And yeah, we've all been big fans of Higher Lows
Yeah.
That's good.
for
Yeah.
quite a long time. They've been my favorite local band
Hmm.
for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't
Since
been
they
around for that
launched.
long. but
Yeah.
since they
Yeah.
launched, yeah.
But-
That's the launch.
Yeah, like I don't know if you saw Escape from Echo Base with like
Yeah.
Plane Shifter. Yeah, like Escape from Echo Base, love like
I love those
amazing
guys.
band.
Really good guys.
So I don't think they're making music anymore at all. So
Yeah.
yeah, Higher Lows, like we'd
We'd love to play
work
with you.
them for sure.
Higher
I
Lows,
mean,
Gutter King.
Gutter King, yeah. I mean, if we're talking local, like Comeback Kid.
That's a huge. That would be huge.
Yeah, we would like.
Hey,
that'd be like
Kid.
a dream show for sure. Like one day. I think we have like great connections here and everything. So like. I think we have great friends, like a lot of people who we've wanted to hang out with, work with, anything. We've sort of like already sort of made those connections. So I think now we're more looking outward, and that's why we want to like tour a bit more. We want to branch out a bit,
get your name out more.
Yeah. Winnipeg, like everybody always says, the music scene's like amazing, all this stuff, but like I feel like it's a tough time right now to be like a Winnipeg musician. So we're trying to like not succumb to just being like a Winnipeg band. Or when people say like, oh, it's like you're a local band or whatever. It's like we would like to
branch out. And that's what I've been telling so many bands to do locally, and you guys are actually did do it. You got to tour. You got that. Sorry about that experience.
We got some experience from it.
You got an experience. Yeah. I don't know about that, but either way, you guys did tour. And that's one thing I've told people. You got to branch out of Winnipeg. Unless you want to make it, you want to get your foot in the door for the music, tour.
Also, like, we just love playing shows. Like it's not like any Winnipeg show that comes up.
Yeah, I don't think we've really denied or a show like ever really. Like if opportunities come up, even if the bill doesn't quite fit or whatever. Like there was one maybe that like the circumstances like didn't work out and we like couldn't play it. But I would say we're like a yes band for sure. It's like opportunity comes up. Yep. We'll just do it. Yeah.
On like really short notice too. Like there was like about a month or two ago, Chris was at a show and one of the bands ended up having to drop out. And so he texts us and he's like, do you guys want to play in half an hour?
Oh, yeah. I was at that show. That was funny.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So he calls me and I was like, Chris never calls. So I like answer it. I thought you were like dying or something.
Yeah.
And then he's like, you want to play? I was like, if Evan says yes, I'll be there in 20.
Right?
Evan said no.
Yeah, I know. That was the whole entire ordeal.
What did you say to Evan?
I annoyed Evan that day on accident. In hindsight, I had apologized before he expressed his disinterest in the way that I conducted myself in that situation. But basically, I texted Evan saying, emergency, call me. and then he calls me and he's like, what's going on? And I was like, so there was this band situation. And then he was like, no. And then hangs up.
Yep.
And then when I saw him in person, I was like, listen, I'm never going to text you emergency again. I realize I messed up. I won't do that again. We're friends. And yeah, we're all good. But he was like, don't text me emergency unless you're bleeding out in the street. And I was like, okay. Yes, sir.
It could happen. You know. Yeah.
But yeah, when we're like, we all play, like all of our whole set is just like to a click and we have everything planned out. So we all practice like on our own more than together. Like we go through like, we play more together now, but we would go through like super long stretches of never playing together. Oh, wow. And then we'd like jam once before a show. So that allows us though to be able to pick up shows super easy because we're all just ready to go. There's no plan this, plan that. It's like,
so yeah,
if ready.
Say if someone from like Burn Cummings, a metalcore band's like, hey, let's reach out to someone locally, you guys will be like
we'll
ready
be there in
we
20.
could play tonight if we wanted to. Realistically,
we saw the stage, we were ready.
Right? There's stage over there like checking it out, like they want to play.
Like, we're always ready to go. So if promoters are listening, if you need
local talent,
a last minute band,
we're
any
for it.
I know bunch of music people in the industry here locally does check out a lot of my stuff, but like if you guys are checking out any metal bands and everything, check out Breathe In, of course. But what was I gonna say? I was just gonna say something. Oh yeah, if a label, talent, or anybody reached out to you guys right now, gave you a contract right now, would you sign a record deal?
I think we all three of us have varying opinions on it that we haven't discussed in great detail, because yesterday was like a big meeting day for us, like 4 hours of like planning essentially is what we did. And I brought up like, we have all these new songs, let's get our demos sick, and then we can send those demos to labels, because like right before they get mastered or whatever, that way they can like, if it came to that, then we can get some funding for it and like, you know, have the help needed.
Reach out to Factor and all that.
And as I'm bringing this up, I'm seeing faces being made across the room, and I was like, let's table this maybe and think about it on your own, and then we'll have like a good like informed discussion about it at another point. But I think if somebody reached out right now, it would be like, okay, we haven't talked about this. Let's look at the contract, sit down, and like just kind of air out all of our opinions together.
Right.
So I can't say, yeah, we'd be so down and let's do it. Because there's pros and cons to all of it. We've been doing everything like funding wise ourselves since we started, and we have the means to do it. So we don't need that necessarily, but if there was like a contract where, you know, everything sort of works out and
I think the contracts I've seen or saw is like, say Sumerian reaches out to you guys, they give you 8 record album deal, you're stuck with them for say 6 years, would you do it?
I mean, Sumerian, fuck yeah, I'd do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
But that's me.
That's you.
I'm not you.
What about Caitlin? What about you, Caitlin? If they gave you a 6 album deal, you're stuck with them for 8 years, what do you think?
I'd
and
know.
you have to loan the money and pay it all back. That's
that's basically what it is.
That is what it is.
Labels are banks. Yeah.
Well, it's not anything that the three of us have experienced. So
Right.
I feel like we'd want to like reach out to people who we really respect, who have been there, or like other resources. Like I feel like it's not something I would dive into without
the right people to talk to about that. Yeah. Fair.
But yeah, we're also like we're a band, but I'd say we're also like friends. So like nobody's making decisions for anybody else, and like we're all like, there's never like a 2 against 1 situation or whatever. Like we always talk things out, and so it would be like if everybody's not on board, we're just not going to do it or whatever.
That's fair.
It's very rare that the three of us like disagree on something.
Yeah.
We always end up on the same page.
What was the last time
quickly.
you guys disagreed on something?
I wouldn't say there was like a disagreement necessarily, but post tour we were all feeling like, I think, pretty sick of each other.
That's fair.
And but it was also like getting cold. It was winter. We were all and have a lot of issues.
You guys toured in winter?
It was fall.
It was fall.
Okay.
But it got cold quick.
Yeah. Post tour, it was like, we're sick. We don't want to see each other just yet. Okay. And then like we slowly started seeing each other again. Vibes are off. Let's take another couple weeks off. And then we just reached a point where it's like, oh, like maybe post tour we take a little break from each other and we just kind of write remotely and, you know, start building up like creative energy again.
Okay.
Because we were definitely like not feeling each other for a bit. Yeah.
Not even like each other, I would say, but just like.
It was a busy summer though. Like we launched in January last year, I believe.
Right.
And then all summer it was like constant shows. It was like, this is also our first time like playing these songs and performing them. So it's like, okay, we're hashing out like live, like how things are going and like all these details that just kind of need to be worked out in those moments. We're figuring all those out, and we went like full tilt. Like we got like a huge merch order. We like put in like a ton of work, and then it was like go time, and it was like go all summer tour, and then it was like, okay, we did everything we wanted to do. Now what do we do? And it was just kind of like a big drop.
Damn.
And that was like a lot of the what do we post? What do we have to say now? What are we working on next? Because we had a lot of songs that we were working on before tour and we wanted to work on over the summer, and then we were playing like 1 to 2 shows every week.
Damn.
So then it just got, and then we were kind of like, there's all these songs that we haven't looked at in this long, and we wanted to like come back from tour and have the next release ready to go, and we didn't.
Yeah, that's kind of how it always goes. You kind of set, as soon as you start setting like expectations for yourself, you start to like, then you're giving yourself that opportunity to be let down.
True.
So yeah, we set a lot of expectations before we even launched the band. And then we did reflect, and we were like, all of these goals that we had written down on a whiteboard, looking back on it, we were like, we did basically everything. Like we were I was like very happy. I'd say we were all very happy with like what we accomplished like last summer in particular.
Nice.
But it was just a lot on all of us, and yeah.
Nice.
And we're also like, I'd say none of us are great with like conflict or anything either.
That's
so we're now at a point. I can speak for myself personally. Like, I was like so bad with like, even when it came to songs, if it was like, oh, I really don't like this transition from the verse into the chorus, but I know Caitlin wrote it and I don't want to hurt her feelings, so I'm going to try and dance around this like subject of, you know, how do I like bring these things up without like hurting feelings. But now we're all so comfortable with each other. Like, we've sort of, we've had all those moments where now we're locked in. Nobody's feelings are getting hurt, and we were kind of, I think, especially me before, little moments would happen, especially on tour or at shows or anything, and I would like really hold on to those and like build up resentments for band members. But now we're in a very good place.
That's
I
good.
would say. Yeah.
Cool.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
What do you guys do on your off time when you're not, you know, doing music and everything? Like, do you guys have regular
Sleep in
jobs?
sheds, get beat up.
Live life, you know, to the fullest.
Yeah.
So like one thing to keep in mind is like doing all of that last summer.
Yeah.
We were all working full-time jobs as well.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all do like very different work. I'm a
Mhm.
software developer, so I'm on a
Mhm.
computer all day long.
Yep.
Evan is a blue collar man,
He's a
Yeah.
blue collar man.
Blue collar boy.
I love him.
land surveyor.
Yeah.
So
Land
he's
surveyor.
out adventuring all day long.
Yep. Yeah, every time you talk to Evan about his job, I get more like mine. Well, it's like, oh, you're just like a silly boy. And then it's like, no, wait, I have no idea what you're talking about right now. Because he does like geomatics and stuff. So he will take coordinations of the earth and like find the, like, it's crazy what he does. Like, it's a ton of math and algebra and all these things. But then sometimes he's like, I just like hammered spikes into the ground for 12 hours and that was my day.
So we have two smarty pants in the band, and then we got a guy that
I am a tattoo artist. Yeah.
tattoos.
So
Nice.
yeah, it is. It's interesting. It's like an amazing job.
Oh, yeah.
I like never complain about it. I feel very fortunate to be doing what I do. I draw a lot. I paint a lot. I draw on people essentially. But it is weird being like a creative person in a creative industry who has a creative side project. So
Yeah.
like sometimes I feel like I have this like meter of like, okay, this is all I've got in me today to create, and sometimes work takes all of it.
Yeah.
And then sometimes like, okay, work only took a bit, but I have to like prepare these designs for clients like in the next few days, so then it takes all of it. And then, you know, like, so sometimes it's hard to like find that time to put into the band, because my life is kind of just creating essentially. Yeah. So
I think we all are creating
yeah.
different aspects of in our lives.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We were talking about this at the last band practice too, where like we all think of ourselves as more like creative and artists as opposed to musicians. Like we like the creating and the songwriting and the making a work of art less.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
And
sure.
I feel like that was a big shift for me, because I was like, I'm a guitarist and I wanted to play like super technical stuff all the time. And I felt like being in bands competed with that, because it was like I'm either playing in a band or I'm trying to become a better musician. And it's
Right.
hard to find the right balance. And I was always feeling discouraged if I was working on like just becoming a better musician, then I'd feel bad that I wasn't working on the band stuff. And if I was working on the band stuff, I'd feel bad that I wasn't.
Don't overthink.
Yep.
What you guys
Like
do?
I always say, like if I get a wave of something, I'm riding that until I'm sick of it, and then I'm switching and I'm, you know, feeling out what's next. Because sometimes, like when we were in the studio writing Fade Away, almost all of those songs were written like during the time period we were in the studio.
Yeah.
So like there's waves of like, like I'm writing a song every day, and you know, maybe in a week there's 8 songs but 2 are okay. Well, I'm just gonna ride that wave. And then there's months where like there's like been like 4 months where I'm like, I'm not singing, I'm not screaming, I'm not writing, because, you know, I'm just not feeling it. But yeah, you get those moments where you're like, oh, playing guitar today is so fun, and all I want to do is just write riffs and like mess around. And I think just riding those waves and having fun and not thinking too much about it is
That's good.
really the way to go. What is so funny?
I want to hear what she's thinking. What?
No, it was just funny.
Did I just steal that from you? Is that what do you? What's going on?
No.
Okay.
No, it was just funny because we go from like, oh yeah, like we all overthink like all the time, and then it's just like, don't think about it.
Just go with the
with
flow,
the
man.
flow.
Ride those
Just
waves.
let it happen.
Don't overthink. Now don't think.
Yeah. No, we definitely do like overthink quite a bit though, for sure.
But we're not that serious.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Nothing's ever that serious.
Mm.
I feel like we do a good job of like bringing each other back down. If we get like too in our heads about something, it's just like
Yeah.
it's not. Nothing's that serious.
Yeah.
That's good.
We're just here to create.
Yeah.
You're vibing.
That's what it
Yeah.
boils down
Chillin'.
to.
We're having a very good time. And yeah, it's really hard. I feel like in 8 billion people in the world, the fact that there's 3 of us who are like-minded enough to do this together, I'd say we're very aligned on, like
That's
when,
good.
oh yeah, this part of the song's not working, I hate this, I shouldn't even be a musician or whatever. We're very good at just figuring it all out together. So
If you could talk to yourselves from a year from now, what would you like to tell yourselves?
Like tell future us.
Yeah, tell future you.
Hmm.
So Caitlin, future you. You, future you.
1 year's not that long.
Yeah, it's not that long.
No, it's
actually.
not that
Think
long at
about
all.
that.
I feel like I want advice from future self.
Yeah, I would be
I don't
like
want to be giving future self advice.
Uno reverse card.
Yeah.
Uno
I hope-
reverse
Yeah,
card?
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, tell me everything's gonna be okay, please.
Hopefully we're here by next year. Just
I'll stick around.
everything,
I'll stick
yeah.
around. I'm getting a new cat next
Oh.
month. So
That'll be cool.
yeah.
Have
Yeah.
you thought of names for the cat?
Yes, actually.
You have?
Well, let's circle way back to what made me very emo and what got me into music.
Mm-hmm.
I named my cat Ollie for Oliver Sykes. Yeah,
No
from Bring Me the
way.
Horizon. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, love that guy.
Describe yourself with one word. What would it be?
Sick.
Why
on the way
sick?
here? On the way here, I was doing some engraving stuff, and Caitlin's looking at it, and I was like, sick, right? I was like, no, I mean cool, because
Yeah.
I say sick so much, and I do the hands. I'm like sick.
Sick.
Everything's fucking sick. But now I think I got to stop saying it. But I'd say that's how I describe myself. Sick.
Sick.
Yeah.
What about you, Caitlin?
Depressed.
Whoa.
I'm just kidding. You could use that for me. I'll take that. I'll take that on.
You already
Yeah.
said sixth, though.
We were also talking about
Sick means a lot of things. Sick could mean
True.
depressed. Sick in the head.
or it could mean sick.
It could mean sick.
Yeah, it depends on the hands. It
Yeah.
depends on the hands.
Yeah.
We were
Anyways,
talking about
Caitlin.
how we all put blood, sweat, and tears into the band, and Evan's like, "Well, I'm the blood," because he had bled on something, and
Yeah.
Chris is like, "I'm the tears."
I am the
Tears don't fall.
And then so Evan looks at me, he's like, "I guess you're the sweat," and he's like, "I'm the sweat," and then it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
and then it's just like, we're both the tears.
Yeah, we're both the tears. Yeah, she'll write very sad guitar riffs, and then I'll just be in the dark, in a corner, crying, writing lyrics. And that's how Breathe In functions.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
we'll either of us will bring a song. I remember I brought one song with lyrics, and Evan's just like, "Are you okay?"
Oh.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Is everyone around you okay?" And then we
Yeah.
do that with every time you bring a song.
Yeah, we don't really do it anymore, but I used to be like, would you like a dramatic reading of the lyrics? And then I'd have my notebook, and I would just read all the lyrics, very slam poetry vibe, and
And then he did it on the tracks.
Damn.
and then I did it on the track.
Yeah, that was actually just us in the studio. It was
Oh.
Chris reading from his diary.
Oh.
Yeah, a lot of I don't know if you've heard the lyrics, a lot of them are just screamed, but
Yeah.
when you deep dive, it's a lot of vulnerability for sure.
I think.
And I think
Yeah.
and I think it's a good thing for the band, and it's a good thing for us as individuals.
Mhm.
We appreciate our music a bit more, and we hope that translates to other people, because there's not a lot of people that kind of put themselves out there like that.
Mhm.
And we've just tried to been honest about the things we feel, and being I guess who we are, navigating this world. It's not always easy, and so
Yeah.
our outlet is to write about it, and
Cry about
we're
it.
happy to do that. Yeah.
Cry about it.
That is one thing that I think makes your writing very unique, especially with lyrics, is a lot of it is very real and vulnerable.
Mm.
And I feel like you have a good balance of just saying it on the nose how it
Mhm.
is, and then doing nice imagery, but a lot of it is just like, this is what's happening.
Yeah, like I'll make some like metaphors or do some like things like that and try and present things in a bit of a poetic way, but at the end of the day, it really is just like there's nights where I'll be laying in bed and I'll just like write down everything that I'm feeling, or it'll be like anywhere in the day, like sometimes I'm driving and I'm like talking to my phone, so it's like writing like my words for me, and it's almost just like a therapy session where like I'll just put everything out there and then I'll feel a bit better, and then I'll look at it with fresh eyes to a track and be like, okay, like these words resonate with, like the vibe that this track's giving me. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
Especially like as the three of us have gotten like more comfortable together as well, and when we like share things about our lives, when we can connect them back to different elements of songs, it's very interesting.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a big thing I feel like we've been like chasing with Breathe In, is trying to be like very genuine and just kind of letting everything speak for itself.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, we don't want to present ourselves as any type of person other than, well, listen to our music, because that's who we are.
Yeah.
We talk about like our brand a lot, and we're just kind of like, what is it?
Yeah.
And we're like, is it being sad?
Yeah. Get this guy therapy.
Sad boy hours. Sad boy hours.
Yeah.
Damn.
Are you sad? Be happy.
Yeah.
Uno reverse card to you. That's what I give to you guys. Is there anything else that you guys want to talk about other than that? Anything else?
He's kicking us off.
I feel like we've been talking for a while.
Yeah.
You got any red flags?
What? Red flags?
Yeah.
There's so many red flags about what happened at the thing, but like, what
Yeah.
do you mean, like red flags?
Hey,
in general?
you know what we haven't talked about actually is where we met.
Oh. Damn.
Yeah. We met
Ooh.
in another band, technically our previous band. We played Fusion Fest, and that was, I think,
a while back.
yeah. And I think that was that your first show?
That was
with
my first
our
show playing with
previous
you and
band.
Evan.
That was
Yeah.
my first time I met all of you.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you weren't even like doing a whole bunch of photography for Winnipeg shows yet, right?
No, that was my first year-ish that I started photographing, if I'm trying to recall.
Yeah. So that's where
What
we all
year
met.
was that? What year was that? 2018? Right?
2021.
No, it was like,
No, that was right after COVID. No,
Yeah,
I
it was right
started
after,
photography 2018, 2019, and then COVID hit, and then Fusion Fest was 2021.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
I did a
Yeah.
couple shows in between, but that's about,
We ended up in another sketchy trailer situation then too.
Kinda, yeah. So, like, as a performer there, like, they would be like, oh, if you'd like, we will video everything, get the stem files, we'll mix it, we'll, like,
I heard about
but,
that.
like, you're going to sign away your rights to this performance, and we will have your, like, audio from the day, essentially. And then we'll give it back to you, and then you do whatever you want with it, but we will have the rights to do whatever we want with it.
Right.
And yeah, he was just like, yeah, like, come and we'll have a meeting. And we just like went in this greasy little trailer. I feel like, I don't know, there was like just people like peeing around
There
the
was like
area.
a huge stack of mattresses in the
Yeah, there was
trailer.
mattresses, yeah.
And then so
What?
we're all just like sitting around this tiny table.
Mhm.
And there were 4 of us in that band. So it's 4 of us and the guy kind of running it, and he's just eating an apple.
Yeah.
And keeps just putting it down on the table and writing and then picking his apple back up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and like I think like because we were in another band. That was our best performance as that band that we had ever done.
Yeah.
That was my
And then-
first performance.
And it
with
was
the band.
Kaylin's first performance with them, and we never got anything from it.
Really?
Like
Yeah, we never got anything
yeah,
sent to us.
no
Oh.
footage, no audio, no nothing at all.
Yeah. Did you like follow through with that or no?
I
They
think
never
we
gave-
followed up.
I don't think
I
they
think
gave
we-
us an email. I think they took our email and was like, "We'll reach out to you if we like."
Damn.
But they did say like there is a chance we won't use your stuff, and
That's fine.
and that's that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Okay.
because other bands got stuff back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw some cool stuff.
Yeah. The only one I saw, and it got posted on YouTube, I think, on their end, was Plane Shifter. That was
Yeah.
the only one I
yeah,
saw
we saw that one too.
of the
Yeah.
whole entire festival. I'm like, was there anyone else that had it? I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah.
It was a weird festival, though,
Yeah.
as well.
Yep. But it was fun.
Yeah.
Like, so we played to 4 people and 12 cameras.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
I don't know
We
how.
had a good time.
Yeah. I don't. Did you guys get paid from that or no?
No, I
No?
don't think we did. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we
had fun.
had fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and we've
fair.
done a few we've done our fair share of shows we don't get paid, and we're not
Yeah.
salty about it.
No.
Yeah.
That's anything local wise. Like, it's I don't know. It's Winnipeg, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, there's some good people. There's some bad people. It's
Yeah, name drop.
name drop. No,
Do it.
I'm not. I don't want.
Podcast is getting canceled after this episode.
Dude, if you want to cancel, I could go into it, but I'm not gonna name names. But
Yeah,
there's so many stuff that go on in the Winnipeg scene that I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
There's
Yeah. Yeah, we've been around it since probably like 2018. I'd say like all of us have been. That's kind of where we all
Same.
started ish, and there's been a lot.
There's been a lot.
But I think where the scene's at right now is pretty chill. I would say, like,
yeah,
And I think
Yeah.
we've like found our people in our
Yeah,
like groups.
for sure.
yeah, the little community that there
Yeah.
is in the emo pop punkish sort of area. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're in a very small like niche.
Niche.
Of like friends in the scene, and
Mhm.
there's the Winnipeg scene is huge, and we
Oh, yeah.
really don't associate with a lot of other scenes. We
Yeah.
just kind of stick to ours, and
That's fair.
yeah. But we are willing to expand out. Like if
Mhm.
like I'm sure we would be interested in playing like Metal Fest or something at some point. Like,
yeah.
but all those bands on those lists are like not people we've played with before.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that they're very in their niche and like all friends and everything. So we'd be open to expanding. But yeah, we have like very good friends here, and
I wish more of the Winnipeg community was open arms with people. Like, even then, like, I was just at, I don't know if you guys saw that Manitoba Loud Awards kind of thing. It's their own friend circle. Yeah, Josh
Yep.
is like, yeah, bad news in the
Yeah.
background. I'm like, yeah, that's the thing about the Winnipeg when it comes to rock. Anything to do with rock, metal, even pop, in any sort of genre, they have their own little niche community, their own little friend group.
Yeah.
Open up to people, and that's the thing that it's starting to a little bit with the photographer and videography community a little bit more. But like in general, like the bands and artists need to open up with open arms for these local community, because you guys need to share. You got to bring in people to enact these people to share what Winnipeg's all about.
Yeah, and I think that's like a big reason that we try to say yes to everything.
Yeah.
Is to like make those new connections, and we put a lot of effort into trying to like bridge the gaps of like different scenes and genres, and even just different like industry whatever that we want to work with.
Yeah, we're very like we're aligned in the sense that we're all musicians. We all want to lift each other up, and it doesn't always feel like that is reciprocated.
True.
So we've been on the other end before, so we'll never be that band who has anything to say like negatively about another band.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're all doing our best. Let's just play some make some music. This is like all of our dreams. Let's like have fun and lift each other up.
Exactly.
But yeah,
We can't have nice things, you know. You
yeah.
never can.
Yeah, I do want to say Manitoba Loud, the first year they launched it, we might have been in a band. We might have won
Yeah, you guys
Metal
did win.
Band of the
You guys did
Year
win.
in a
Chris
previous
might
band.
still have the trophy.
I
You
might
might?
still have the trophy at my tattoo shop up on the wall.
Oh,
I get asked about it, and I'm like, no big deal.
no big deal.
Yeah, but no, it's no big deal.
No,
Seriously.
no, it really
Yeah.
isn't.
Yeah,
No.
it is
Yeah.
definitely not a big deal.
No.
But
Yeah, if you
it was a
win-
cool
yeah.
experience, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like anybody, even if you win an award or not, like you're doing the thing. That's the main thing. You're being passionate about what you're making, you're creating, and just be a humble person, be who you are. If you continue doing what you're doing, then you're gonna be fine. You're gonna make it.
And a lot of it is trying to like build and support the community. Which,
Yeah.
of course, that's what we're all asking for. That's what we want. We want to encourage that and help it grow.
But so far, it's not growing that much.
I think we need more bands.
We do.
And there's a lot of really good young bands coming up, though.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it's turning around.
Yep.
It's slowly turning. Who's some upcoming bands that you guys are like, wow?
Spineless.
Spineless. Yeah.
Spineless?
Yeah. I just tattooed a couple of the guys the other day, and like we've seen their socials for a bit. Like their first show was I think Metal Fest, and then they played like a couple more shows, and Yeah, I think they've got like I've talked to them. I've been like, you know, how are you approaching your writing, and you know, like what's your plan for your music and everything. And I think that like they're starting off very young, and they've got a good mindset. They are driven. I think I think Winnipeg needs like a like deathcore slam band, and I think we've been waiting for Spineless. Yeah. Yeah, I think they're cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out Spineless.
Yep.
Damn.
Shout out Spineless.
Shout out
Cool
Spineless.
guys. Yeah, I also think we need bands like Couriers that are bridging gaps between genres.
True.
That can, you know, if there's like, you know, an acoustic act, and then there's Couriers, and then there's us, it feels like a good flowing bill, because they're sort of bridging those gaps between like very like shoegazy, like lighter music, and then more, I guess, like traditional post-hardcore metalcore that we have released right now.
Yeah.
And we're doing that moving forward. Like we're sort of like diving into new genres, and
That's good.
we're hoping that we're gonna be that band that can help, you know,
Bridge.
fill in bills that, you know, might be tricky otherwise. But yeah, I think Couriers is doing great. Yeah, any other bands?
Yeah.
you
I mean,
wanna shout
like
out?
Guilty Sleep's new.
Guilty
and
Sleep
they've,
is doing
like,
very
popped
good.
off quick.
Yeah.
And their songs are fantastic.
Yeah, and I
They're-
think like all of these bands are examples of bands that are like have really pushed their direction. And even if their direction is a bit like unstable, like maybe not unstable, but like Couriers, how they're like sort of like in between a few genres, they know what they're doing, and they're doing it unapologetically.
Yeah.
Guilty Sleep, they do their very like emo, grungy sort of like the music that they make, and they do it great. And then yeah, Spineless, slam, deathcore, crabcore, just want to make gross noises. And yeah, I think they're not thinking about it too much, maybe is what it is. Yeah, they're just going with the flow, riding the waves.
Yeah,
dude.
it's not that serious.
We love crabcore. We love crabcore.
Bring crabcore back. Bring crabcore back.
Is that a call to action?
That is a
Crabcore?
call to action.
I'm sorry, Levels. I'm sorry for laughing at that, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm here for it. I'm
here
here
for
for it.
Nice. Is there? Yeah. Shout your guys out. Shout yourselves out to the world about Breathe In. What do you want them to know about Breathe In?
We are very passionate about the music we make. We've put our heart into this. And if it doesn't connect with you, that's totally fine. If our music connects with one or two people, that's more than we could ever ask for, because we're happy making the music that we are. Yeah, you can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, everything. Our Instagram is BreatheInCA. Yeah, we've had a great time here, and
Yeah.
that's
Thank
it.
you for
Thanks so much
having
for
us.
having
Yeah,
us.
thanks.
Yeah, thank
Thanks,
you.
guys, so much for coming out. It was fun. Go check them out. Go check out all the bands we mentioned, and that's about it, I guess. Yeah, thank you guys so much.